Hello, welcome to Channel Messages with Sandra. I haven't been giving the dates lately, although you can see them at the bottom. I do find, many of us find, that we come across the videos and the messages when we need them. Sometimes we need them to tell someone else, and you're sharing, and you're a channeler at that point. Because why would you listen? I've had people that are Leos listen to the Leo one and know for a fact that it's for their friend who's a Virgo. So take what resonates. You know the guidelines. Take what resonates. If you like, or if you want to see more, just hit like, subscribe, and share. Welcome to comments. I thank you for joining. And I do thank you for the feedback, because I get some feedback that doesn't pop up here. Text on here. It changes the algorithm. So, I usually start with a story or something, but a lot of people, might do a separate video, like how I did the one a couple months ago with the eclipse. A lot of people are experiencing unusual things, unusual sounds, and time differences, and just odd things happening. We might do a video on that. So that's happening, and that's going to increase. So buckle up. Oh, that Betty Davis movie, buckle up, it's going to be a bumpy ride. Okay, so we're doing all zodiacs today. Again, ask questions. You know, it can't be a personal question where I have to answer it necessarily, but, you know, a spirituality one. For that, you're welcome to contact me or join my membership. There's different levels for that, but you can ask questions. Okay, so we're going to start with Cancer. I do pretty much one card. Cancer, you got the Empress in reverse, lower polarity, however you want to say it. So we'll put it upright though for you. That means a delay in pregnancy, a delay in creative ideas. There's a delay here. Pay attention to the delay, because Cancer, this is your season. So perhaps you need to rest. If you're in a hotter climate, you need to rest a little bit more. If you're just feeling exhausted and tired, just rest. Tell people, not now, go away. Come back later. You figure it out. Figure it out. It's not religious, FYI, but it's the male and the female. Because the Empress in most tarot cards, not all, like the Draconis, it's not, but I have that handy, but I don't. It's usually the pregnancy, the growth, even in not just fertility, but growth in abundance of outdoors. And so make sure I don't care if it's one plant, grow something. Especially there's tons and tons of plants that you could search engine that give off great oxygen while we're sleeping. They just work with our CO2. That's why don't listen to those people. The plants need the CO2. Don't listen to those people. There's no money in it if the plants need the CO2. That's why, like, I think Australia has a carbon tax now. You're carbon-based. We're carbon-based. What's the tax for? Don't listen to them. And that goes, now that's a little world, because I will channel world as I channel personal also. It is general, because I'm not reading you specifically, but I'm reading you specifically if you're listening. Pay attention to what you're taking in and what you're putting out. That's creative. That's the Empress. It does not have to just be good breaths, but we know we want to do that, yes? Yeah. it's also what we talk about and who we talk to. We're in a society now where most people don't keep secrets. And if they can keep secrets, a lot of people, I won't put a percentage on it, a lot of people talk about other people's business. That's what they call gossiping. That we should curtail as much as possible as a society, individually and as a society. None of my business what you do, don't do. None of my business. I can judge you by how you talk to me, how I see you treat others. Judge people by what you see. Do not always listen to the other people. And the other part of what you send out is what you come back. Yeah, that could be the gossiping. That could be, I had a conversation with a friend the other day, and I said something a little bit more private about my life than best friend, but a little bit more private about my life that I would not have normally said. No, I wouldn't normally have said that. But, so I told her later on, of course that's confidential, because it included someone else. So, of course, it's confidential. And I don't like having that particular conversation because, especially if it involves another person. So, it was just one of those. Watch what you're putting out. Watch what you're growing. Who are you alienated? Past tense and current. Alienating. This is growth, but she was in reverse. The energy was. So even for a male who's listening, it's the energy. And males also are social creatures, but women are really, truly social creatures. And you have to give women a break, a little bit, just like you give yourself a break, men. Society has been turned upside down on its head, and men don't know how to act. They don't know how to behave. They don't know how to talk. They think they're right, and women too. So this is just a reminder. Get your act together. Know what your morals are. Know what you want and your don't want. I always say to people, know your boundaries intimately. Intimately. So when somebody crosses them, we know how to handle a little bit better. We can recover easier. We can forgive ourselves. And sometimes the boundary crosses like, oh gosh, I didn't even know that was a boundary. Or I didn't even know somebody could do that. I've met people like that. I didn't even know that they could do the things they did. And it's like, well, that was one hell of a big boundary. So, Cancer, that's you. You're okay. Just pay attention. And delays. All right. Thank you, Cancer. Moving on to Leo. Leo, you got Page of Wands. This is a good card, but I'm not going to buy a whole new deck for this card. Maybe someday I will. But it got wet. And sometimes it comes up and I can use it in the reading. So this is a reminder. Water is our friend. Bottled water is not necessarily our friend. And this is what we want Leos to pay attention to. And anyone else listening. Most bottled water is actually S-T-O-L-E-N. S-T-O-L-E-N. It has been S-T-O-L-E-N. And you can say, how is that possible? A company. Where's the company getting it from? Think about that. Research it. So we're drinking water, and I still occasionally, if I'm out, I have to grab it. But I usually try to use the filtered. And I just fill up glass, not plastic, glass bottles. And you can put it in an old sock, something, so you feel a little bit more comfortable. It's glass. We're drinking water that was S-T-O-L-E-N. I see people here all the time on YouTube. They talk about anything and they don't get kicked off. And then I watch other people, and they get kicked off. So I'd rather not, take a chance. So now that we're drinking a lot of that water, then we have to figure out it's in plastic, which is an endocrine and hormone disruptor. So everyone's a little crazy with it's a hormone disruptor. So this is, watch your page. I'm hearing the P, P, P. I'm just hearing P for plastic. Watch what you get. Glass, store your food in glass whenever possible. I understand things are expensive. I understand that it's not always convenient, and that leads to more washing, and they're a little heavier if you're don't have the strength. And you think that's crazy, but I had some back injuries, and it was just holding that, it was a little heavy. So this is, learn whatever you can for your health. It's a reminder to have fun, because what do you see when you see this card? It kind of reminds you a little bit of a court gesture. Oh, and also the reason why I went with water is because it got wet. It fell behind my dresser, and I didn't know that. And then, of course, shortly thereafter, I spilled my water, and that's the result. So we need salt. Celtic salt can open up a cell so the water can go in. We don't absorb the water. That's why everyone's running to the bathroom. We don't absorb the water as much, and we don't need as much as they say. That was because they had a business. The more you drink, the more money they make. And also you're flushing out regular nutrients that your body needs. So then you might need a supplement, or something might happen. Always follow the money. I will channel world as a channel for you. Also, the page is looking to the right. So I'm going to say, Leos, you're very strong. Most of you, it fluctuates depending upon what the other signs or the other houses are involved in your astrology. But this is to add a little more masculine energy. And it doesn't have to be all rough and tough. Because that's why I don't like that saying toxic masculinity. There really is no such thing as toxic. Somebody could be more masculine and then anything in between. What, the chopping wood, that's toxic. They open the door for you, that's toxic. We're not talking about the criminal or somebody who's violent. We're not talking about that. We're talking about the average male. There is no toxicity with that. So you be as much male as you want. If you're female and you want to be more masculine energy, grab it. I mean, we all need that occasionally. That's what gets us hunting. That's what gets us, that's not just female energy. When we go to, say, a yard sale and we're bartering for a lower price, that's not just female energy. That's the masculine coming into play too. Getting the best for the family. And that's what I'm hearing. Do the best for the family. Thank you, Leo. We're moving on to Virgo. Oh. Virgo, you got the Two of Swords. This is a decision coming up. This is a no. You must follow your own intuition. These are just guidelines. This is something, maybe you have several decisions coming up, and it's just a flat-out no for one of them. Because what do we want to do? Especially if one of those decisions is we really want it to be a yes. Then we have to take the blinders off and turn the swords upright. Because on average, depending upon other cards around it, or, there's a lot, the swords pointing down is a no. However, they're crossed here. That's not a permanent no for some of the decisions. This is take the blinders off. And sometimes we have to put blinders on in order to get through our day. Say you, Virgo, don't have a job that you particularly care for, but you need it because of the cash flow. Cash, not credit cards, whenever possible. I will, that's just me. I'll never stop. Well, I'm going to try not to. This is a decision. This is emotional. Even though we're seeing swords, that we know moons are cyclical and they're emotional. I'm not going to go into the whole flat earth, whether the moon actually changes the tides or not. There's some indication that they actually don't. Some indication. I'm still researching that. I'm going to go with my intuition. These are dark clouds around Virgos. Sometimes we cannot face the truth. Sometimes we just can't. We can't see those dark clouds. And that's what might be happening right now for some Virgos. If there's a decision that's hard to make, you make the one that's right for your soul. There are people that stay in marriages, not because they're in love any longer, or it's happy, or even sometimes it's a little very uncomfortable, and they have to stay in the marriage because they have children or financial support. And we say that, but not everyone can make it on their own financially. So I don't go by that when people say, well, you get out. No. You have to do what's right for you. Only your soul knows. And each life that we have is a particular life and the experience. So your experiences right now feel a little darker. But what do we know? Because even here, the clouds will part and the sun will come out tomorrow. You don't want to hear me sing, but the sun's going to come out. This is a highly, highly intuitive card. Highly intuitive. Do what you have to do to get by. That's what I'm hearing. And sometimes, I don't like the phrase lie to yourself, but sometimes we can fake it till we make it. Sometimes we stay with somebody until we don't have to. Or even if they get rid of us, they break up with us or anything, and then that's how it goes. But, and even if it's a job, and you're going to be let go from a job, or they're downsizing, and you're the low man on the totem pole, so to speak. Virgos always get through. I'm seeing that. I'm seeing you get through. So watch your choices. Some of them have not been crossed yet. Pay attention, and that's why I was just saying, I think it was Cancer, Leo, I'm not sure, because we started with Cancer. One of them is watch your boundaries. We don't know what a boundary is sometimes until someone actually crosses them. So pay attention. Go through your days as best as you can until those decisions are as final as they can be. I hope that makes sense. It's not a bad card. It's not a bad message. It's a little guidance to get you through some decisions that are coming. You have the strength, you have the intuition. Sometimes we have to put the blinders on. It's not even taking them off. We have to put them on in order to make a decision. Sometimes. Okay, thank you, Virgo. All right, moving on to Libra. Libra, you got the world. This is literally the world's at your fingertips. And so we know Virgos, Aquarius, Scorpios, Taurus, Aries, Leos are all involved with this card. And you can even add a little bit more. This is play, celebrate your wins. I don't care what the wins are, you've been depressed, and after 2 weeks you finally did the dishes, or some of the dishes that are piled up. Celebrate that, like, yay. I did 1 pot, 2 dishes, 3 forks. Hopefully a spoon. Don't leave the spoon out. Celebrate that. And then, of course, anything else, celebrate. You went walking once in 3 weeks. Celebrate that. You made a new friend. Celebrate that. I do recommend at this point in time, mostly find like-minded. Like-minded and not a yes person, and not the no person. We don't have to agree on everything. But the basics have to be there. We have to understand a little bit of what's going on in the world. We have to understand what's going to be happening. That's like-minded. And how do you want to survive? And how do you want your days to go? Because the world is literally at your fingertips. This is go, 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 go. Rest when you need it, but go, 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 go. All right. Thank you, Libra. All right, we're moving on to Scorpio. Oh, Scorpio, you got strength. This is so funny. I had an event last night, and I just did my card. I didn't even do it the first time. Literally, the strength card fell out. And then I was just looking, while I was waiting for a client to come. And I'm looking, and the Strength card just came. And for at least one, but for some reason I'm thinking it's two. Two people that I read last night, they got the Strength card. And it was facing me. So I know that's the time when we need to pay attention. So if you're getting the Strength card, this is pay attention. Pay attention to your physicality. Don't do more than you can do. Yes, some people that are weightlifting, they want to go, but you're practicing, you're warming up prior. You know where your muscles can do if you do it on a regular basis. If you're not used to exercising, slow. But everyone should be exercising in some way, whether it's flowy, tai chi, qigong, kickboxing. Definitely anything will help you with self-defense. The stronger you are. But it's nice to know techniques too. So this is a technique card as well. This is learning new techniques. So either you've already, it feels like you've already, it's an endeavor. Not teaching, although you could be teaching because she's Strength and Leo. So a Leo is around your life. That's what I'm hearing. A Leo is coming or around your life. They can offer support, as we see. But what do we know about that? Lions can also turn around and snip you. Even in defense, like, oh, who was that? They had that Las Vegas show. Siegfried Roy, something like that. Now, the one poor gentleman, they think that a lady in the front row coughed or just moved or something, and it made the tiger, because they had tigers, made the tiger nervous, and so he grabbed his trainer, I think it was Roy, and pulled him off the stage. Unfortunately, as most animals do, cats, you see them, they grab the babies by the neck, usually behind, but they grab by the neck. Rabbits do it. You see gerbils, a lot of them will grab by the neck. And the lion grabbed Roy by the neck. So this is to be careful of your neck. Watch. We need to baby the neck in some ways, and we need to always strengthen our neck. You want to strengthen your whole body, but you strengthen our necks. The older we get, or the less we exercise or do anything. There's people that go through life and they really, either at the computer or whatever the reason is, they're not physical. This is a reminder you must get physical. Or you don't have to, but you know, it's a guideline. But this is looking good card. Looking forward, strength. This is also going to battle, so there's probably a battle coming up for you. I have to say, I don't feel it's a bad battle. It feels like fighting on the side of right. So there you go. All right, thank you, Scorpio. Moving on to Sagittarius. Sagittarius, you got the Ace of Wands. The aces are new. They're usually the first card in the deck. Some people put it behind, so it's the King, Queen, Ace. Usually that's more common in the cartomancy, just the regular playing cards. Usually, but not all the time. I like it to be number one. If you're playing certain games, you can have it as the ace, and it's, you know, you get 11, you get extra points. So this is a card that reminds you, play not both sides of the coin, if you will, or both sides of the field. We don't want to be dishonest, but the Wands is creative in coming to a conclusion. The Wands are creative, and so perhaps there's a little infighting in the family or a little infighting at work. This is a card to say, if you can't broker a peace, then let it burn out naturally. Let it burn out naturally. But it's also a great card because the newness of it, the aces and the wands, the newness of it is creativity. So get those juices going. What do you want to do? How do you want to live life? Okay, that was Sagittarius. We're going to move, that's a thank you. we're going to move on to Capricorn. Capricorn, you got the Eight of Swords. Eight of Swords is always, not in every deck, but most decks. This is somebody who's restraining themselves on purpose. Sometimes we restrain ourselves so we don't let somebody know how we really think about what they just said to us. So we have to watch. Sometimes we restrain ourselves if there is a bully there, because it can be a little dangerous. But this is restraining yourself. Swords to me are not just air and intellect. Swords are also to me sort of like wands. They're fire, because how do you forge a sword? In fire. And it's the metal coming to metal, and it's more heat, and it's working it. So this card is a reminder, if you need the rest, take it and work it. Learn what you need to learn. But the chains aren't, can you see that? The chains are not tight. They're just literally draped on her. All she has to do is take them off, take the blindfold off, and it's not even a sword, you know, there's spaces. The difference is, in this card and deck, she's on a cloud. So it tells us the cloud, the intellect. We can be in a fantasy. You can be in a fantasy. I'm not a Capricorn. You could be in a fantasy, or someone around you. If you listen to the beginning with the guidelines, sometimes we have to deliver a message. If someone's in a fantasy, they're restricting themselves, because it's either that's not truly what's going on, that's not truly what they said. I just had a friend say to me, she goes, oh, well, you told me that this is your last life here. And I went, that doesn't even sound like me. I would never say that. To me, you could think I'm wrong all you want. I can pick up every single soul on the planet. Almost. There's certain very bad narcissists that I can't pick up all the time. And no one, there's not one single soul that this is their last life. I know people talk about that. I've read books by other mediums and they say, oh, this is my last life. It can't be. At the very least, your last life should be, you've come to the conclusion of where we truly are, what's truly really happening, and maybe even at that point, you can speak all languages spontaneously. You have all knowledge, perhaps. So I said to her, I said, no, I would never say that. I don't know why you heard that. It's not your last life, so get it together. You're coming back. We're all coming back. What kind of world do you want to come back to? Take off the chains that bind, take off the chains, and get to work. That's what I'm hearing. All right, thank you, Capricorn. Okay, moving on to Aquarius. Aquarius, you got 7 of Swords. In most decks, this is my card that I usually say, pick up your tiddlywinks and go home. But if you notice, he's got a little bit of a face. So sometimes we need to leave a situation and we're not happy about it. We're not happy staying. We're not happy leaving. We're not truly happy about it. But this is a reminder. You take what you can salvage and perhaps consider leaving. If it's work, free will, you're making up your own mind. This is only a guide, general guide. But they're leaving something on the floor. And often what we leave on the floor is our heart. Or blood, sweat, and tears that we put into a job that we can no longer work there for whatever reason. Sometimes it's other employees, co-workers. Sometimes it's management changed. Sometimes, whatever the reason is. But I gotta go. So figure out where you have to go. And sometimes it's not a literal picking up and leaving your home and family. Frequently it's not that. This is even leaving the past behind. Because what do we see there? We see the red fox. That's passionate. That's emotions. That's a little sneakiness. And sometimes we do it to ourselves. We have a little sneakiness going on in our heads, like, no, I'm not going to let that bother me. And meanwhile, it bothers us. So we have to either talk to the person. If we've talked enough, we let it go. And this is somebody letting something go. Taking what you can salvage and going. Again, it can just be metaphorical, just in your head, because they're swords. What do you have to let go? What can you truly leave behind? Thank you, Aquarius. Moving on to Pisces. Pisces, you got the Knight of Swords. So Pisces, usually you're calm, loving, can be a little impetuous. This is very impetuous. Pay attention, because the Knight of Swords is, and I heard this from somebody else. There's a, like, okay, ready, aim, fire. And then they back up, and then they, like, well, what do we have to do again? Where should we have been firing? Because you missed. And so it's ready, back at me, and fire. And it's a reminder, pay attention. Use the full power of the card and the message, and review everything. Don't just be impetuous. We like being spontaneous, but spontaneous could be, let's go to the movies, or let's do this. Oh, I want to rest, or, oh, no, I think I'm going to get up and do a YouTube. Contemplate. You see that eagle? Eagles fly above the clouds to escape the storms. Eagle's not up above the cloud, so you have time. You have time. So take that time, learn what you need to learn, dial it back. All right, thank you, Pisces. Moving on to Aries. Oh, Aries, you got 4 wands. This is love and family, and I don't care if you live by yourself and there's no one around. Get a plant. Get an animal if you can take care of them properly. This is stability and security, and even if we have to give it to ourselves. But there's that poem, and the one line is, no man is an island. We don't do anything alone. Can you talk about the mountain people, where it's like, well, that one solitary hermit mountain person, usually a male, but sometimes they're female. I've followed some of their stories, and they're on their own for 30 years. Once in a blue moon, they go into town. So even then, they're not doing it on their own. Now, if once in a blue moon, it's one of those people that truly are in the mountain, they're not going to go anywhere, and that's that. That's fine, but that's an anomaly. It's so rare, it's an anomaly. This is, make sure you have people around you. Make sure you have something around you. This is instigate the love. So this is what I counsel people, especially when they have the love life issue, or even friend issue. Meet everyone as if they could be a possible friend. You're going on a date, possible friend, possible friend, possible friend. Don't say possible lover, possible husband, wife. Don't say anything like that. Friend. So if it doesn't work out, or there's not the right person, always try to give more than one. If they're halfway decent, give them more than one date, one interaction. It takes a while. People are shy, or they come across bold and aggressive and that's not really them. It's just people don't know how to act anymore. So we have to give people, most, not all, some people are like that normally, but we want to give them the benefit of the doubt. So try to do more than one date if possible. The other thing with that is, you want to make a friend, you want to meet more people, male or female, you go on a date, you say, listen, this isn't when it's really not a match, and you know you're not going to go out a second time, or you go out the second time, third, fourth, and it's like, no, we're done. You say, not a match for me. Use your own words. I'm kind of blunt, and I wish I was a little bit more not so much. But say, not a match for us. You probably feel it too, maybe if you want to give them an out. But can I keep your phone number if I meet somebody who might be interested in you, or where I think that you might make a good pair, or at least give it a try? You just made a friend. On average, high average, you just made a friend. Because who does that? Yes? Who does that? Make a friend. Make friends. We are used to being communities and villages and together. How they run the world and run us is division, division, division. Can't like them because of color. You can't like them because of religion. You can't like them because who knows. We're not like that. You don't see children like that. That means we're not like that. We get it into our heads. Meet people as if they're going to be your friend. Because sometimes they have fathers, brothers, sisters, mothers, daughters. They definitely have friends. Or usually. Pisces, go forth. Grow your circle. And for some of you, oh, I just heard, do a commitment ceremony. Just heard, do a commitment ceremony. So if you're already in a relationship, 1 month, I don't know, too soon. 1 year, to whatever. Maybe commitment ceremony. Oh, that was Aries. Oh. I think that should be for Pisces as well. So I'm going to tell Pisces to watch yours as well. That's nice. I like when that happens. Okay, moving on to Taurus. Taurus, you got the Six of Swords. Six of Swords is coming out of something that was a little rough. Whether it's just the last hour, the last day, the last month, the last 10 years, but it tells us you're moving on from something that was very rough. However, bear in mind, this was something that you created. Can you have had outside influence and help in creating that? Absolutely. We usually do. But this is definitely, this is a moving on. Put the past behind. This is going on to a brighter future, brighter stuff. But only you can get in that boat. Oh, that's funny. I have a friend who's a fisherman. So hello, if you're watching. So, but this is a general read. This is definitely get in the boat of your choosing. This is leaving people behind that you can't associate with, or that you just can't anymore. That's what the card represents. It's moving on. The swords are cutting through it, and the full moon, and she's going towards, and it doesn't matter, it's just the energy of the card. Going towards, because that's a little love, going towards a brighter future. But only you can make it a brighter future. Now, a lot of people will stay on the pier because it's like, I'm afraid to get in the boat. I'm afraid to go towards a brighter future. I'm afraid of that. Because usually what we're leaving something behind. And sometimes we leave things behind that we really like. So this is a choice. Right after the Five of Swords. I mean, granted, it's not the Five of Cups, but it's still Five of Swords. That's, a little infighting, a little fighting with the self. This is go towards the light, if you will. Go towards the sunnier side. Go towards the happiness. Because it feels like, see that face? She has not been happy. She's not happy. Again, male, female, doesn't matter. It's just the energy. Which she also, because it's a swan, what do we know about swans? They mate for life. They usually, a friend told me a story about swans. We're not going to get into that one now. But it can show a little fighting. And that's moving on. because the swans needed to move on. If you know the story, you know, I'm not going to get into that now. It's a little bit much. Oh, maybe I will. So my friend told me that because they saw this and they had asked a veterinarian or asked people in the know, they saw swans attacking baby swans, whatever they're called, little ducklings, and he couldn't figure out why. It was like they were pecking. It was the mom and dad pecking at the little swan, and it turns out, and they killed them. And he saved at least 2, I believe. And it turns out that he was told that if the swan stays with the mom and dad to the next season, and it's time for them to take off and fly, they have to get rid of the swan, the baby swan. They can't keep the duckling because usually they fly off on their own and start their own life. If they're still attached to them, they can't leave until that swan is gone, one way or the other. Now, sometimes they survive, but apparently it's a forceful detachment. So, as rough as it sounds, the 5 of Swords is rough. This is you moving on with detachment if you want. This is free will. And you know how I always give my guidelines. This might be something you need to tell someone else. We hear the message that we need to hear. And it might apply now or a year from now. You'll just remember it. That's how it works. But this is moving on. Move on from the pain. Move to the light. Move to more happiness. And you got to leave that behind. You have to leave it behind. All right. Thank you, Taurus. Good luck. You'll be fine. You'll be fine. We're always fine. This is life, right? Like a wave. It's ups and downs, and it's life. It's okay. All right. Thank you, Taurus. Moving on to Gemini. Gemini, you got the Page of Swords. Oh, we've got a lot of swords today. So the Page of Swords. This is learning. All pages are learning. It's at the beginning of the court cards. And just like the Knight, seeing the Knight. Somebody had the Knight earlier. I don't recall who. If you scroll back and you just, you can see the, it's a white horse with the blue Knight on top. So if you don't want to listen to everyone's. They go fast, the Knight of Swords. It's impetuous, spontaneous, but it's more than that. It's impulsive. It's like, what are you doing? A fire. Oh, wait, I got to retreat, and I have to reload and think where I want to aim better. You're not even there yet. This is you thinking, pausing. Don't let it come out of your mouth unless you're sure you want to say, it's not working. Unless you want to say, I'm not happy at this job. I need to go. This is a be careful. This is pay attention. Because that Page is not a happy camper. He's on guard. He's ready. And again, it doesn't matter the gender in these readings. It's the energy. So this is somebody young, either you or somebody even below you in age. They're holding their, this is my stance, this is it. And what do we see with youth? Well, we could see it at any age, but youth more so. Teenagers, 20s, 30s even, sometimes 40s, 50s. What do we see? That's my opinion, and I'm sticking to it. And then later on you find out, oh, maybe not. I went on a vacation. I tell people all the time I went on a vacation with a former boyfriend, and we went to a friend's house. And we're talking about a couch that we had. I think at that point we were living together, talking about a couch that we had. And I'm like, well, that wasn't the couch. It was the second couch, and it was white or whatever color. And all 3 of them saying, no, we know the couch. It wasn't that one. It was the light blue one. I'm like, no, I was so adamant that it was one of the other 2. I don't remember now, so many years ago. And it wasn't until I got home from that vacation, which was another week, I looked at the couch and went, oh my gosh, I was wrong. I was so wrong. They were right. So I had to extend apologies. When we're young, we stick to our guns. And it's like, nope, I'm right. Sometimes we are. More often than not, we still have a lot to learn. So that falls into the category of you, we, all of us. You don't know what you don't know. We just don't. We just don't know it. And then we learn something new. And it's like, oh, that's nice to know. Nice to learn. So, learn. That's all. We make amends when we have to. But you're good. Always make amends to yourself. We need to do that more frequently. Thank you, Gemini. So I want to thank everyone for joining me. I love doing these. I know I always say I'm going to do more. I don't have any words of wisdom right now except for the usual. Find like-minded. Grow a plant. Grow some food. Keep chickens maybe if you can. Learn survival skills. Learn how to defend yourself. Get in shape. Get your act together. The world's going to get crazy in a couple of years. Or not. This is what I've been saying for a while now. Watch the movie Vanilla Sky with Tom Cruise. I think I'm his character in the movie. I really think I'm his character in the movie. You'll go in to watch it if you never saw it before, and certain people are like, oh my God, this is boring. I don't think I can get through it. The ending brings it all together. It's one of those few movies that the ending really does bring it all together. I watched it twice. I want to watch it again. And if you really don't find it special, that's fine too. You gave it a try. That's all we can do, is give things a try. You are loved, you are loved, and you are lovable. I'm absolutely positive. Go play. Oh, wait, I can't shut it off. I have a... Oh, there we go. Okay. All right, go play.